Good evening, race fans, and welcome to a thrilling evening of motorsport action back here at GPVWC for Formula Sprint 2. We're coming to you live from the heart of Spain's premier racing venue, and today we witness the finest drivers from GPVWC take on this challenging and exhilarating track. Located just outside the vibrant city of Barcelona, the Circuit de Catalunya is renowned for its sweeping curves, technical turns, and long straights that test both the skill and speed of every single one of the competitors. Since its opening in 1991, this circuit has been a staple on the motorsport calendar, hosting everything from Formula 1 to MotoGP, and now GPV. And I am joined, my name's Toby Davis, and I'm joined by Alex Foulkes. Welcome back. I can't wait.
That's what happens when you have 4 weeks to write a script. He has been preparing that for at least the last month or so. No doubt about it, because he has been like a dog before the broadcast going, shall we go? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like a small child in the back of a car that just really wants to go to Legoland. Anyway.
Oh, Legoland would be amazing. I'd much rather be there. Today's race promises high-octane excitement with teams and drivers pushing their machines to the limit in pursuit of victory. I can't wait for tonight, Alex. Who is your money on?
I'm putting no money on nobody looking at the track condition right now because that's
a little damp.
Not a good decision.
Little damp. Well, thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining us. Stay with us as we bring you every heart-stopping moment, expert analysis, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access in the interview phase later tonight. Get ready to hear the rush of the engines roaring and the thrill of wheel-to-wheel combat tonight, because this will be the sheer spectacle of racing at its finest, especially considering this is Formula Sprint 2 in 2024.
Okay, I'm convinced that you didn't write this, but ChatGPT did instead. Can I see your chat history, please, Toby?
I'm too old for ChatGPT. I'm 32 years of age, my friend. Now, I actually did uni work. I actually did uni work. I didn't just get ChatGPT to do it for me.
Okay. I feel like this is targeted.
A little bit. Anyway, some information about the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, right? So this has been updated in the last couple of years to get rid of the final chicane. So we now have a very fast couple of final corners, courtesy of Chris Williamson, who's always the man behind the scenes editing the track files and making sure they are up to date and ready for action. And you can see here the final corner is a very long sweeping right-hander that leads you onto the start-finish straight. No DRS in Formula Sprint 2 this season, so it is all down to the drivers to get the best exit they can and slipstream down into the ferocious braking zone of Turn 1. And Noah Tourmiller is in that braking zone now on the wet tyres, I should add, everyone. It is damp. You can see that from the spray. But we do have an interesting few cars out there today. Not everyone is actually here this evening. There are some replacements. Magnussen and Tourmiller are the KV86 cars, which we have seen obviously before, but Tom Parker returns for Cap Clay, and he'll be looking to do what he did earlier in this season and do some decent results without really meaning to, which is how I feel Tom Parker generally drives. We'll go through the whole grid as we get to each individual car, but Tourmiller on a flying lap in qualifying. This is a 15-minute session. It is completely private, so there will be no other cars visible. All the sessions that have happened concurrently. If you're new to GPVWC and you're wondering why there's only one car on the track, that is why. If we skipped to another one, they'd pretty much be in the same place on the track. It's just to avoid collisions and slipstream. It's good stuff, Alex.
Yeah, well, that just reminded me of a suggestion that Patrick Magnussen made to me last year at Italy, the Italian Grand Prix, was we should slipstream each other in qualifying. Of course, not realizing why exactly that's so stupid to say, but yeah, that's just an interesting tidbit I thought I'd bring up. And watching Noah actually going around a few of these corners, he's been on the edge quite often, and it shows with that lap time only good enough for P5 now, just tumbling down the order as the lap times come in. Oliver Terrasse and Yasser Lahtinen at the top of the leaderboard for Apex Grand Prix. Clearly, they've had a bit of wet practice themselves, as Matusz Majka actually takes first position now, as I would believe this would be his first pole if he were to hold on to this.
Here we go. Oh, Nick Cowper. We haven't seen him in 4 weeks, actually, as it goes. I'm going to say that quite a few times this evening, by the way. It won't get old. Trust me.
Yeah, it will get old. It's already old, actually.
He is on a lap, as you can see. Micah returns, though, for Optiminal, which is good for them. He's very fast.
What happened to him at reading game? Oh, he got replaced by Chris Kilo.
Did I say reading game? No, I meant reading game. Why did I say Optiminal?
Because he's in an Optiminal.
But he should be in reading game.
Then why is Christos Philo in a reading game?
Okay, Micah should be at reading game, but is actually at Optiminal. Apparently, he's transferred. That's interesting. So he's at. So that means Massimiliano Riboli is not driving for Optiminal now. Then
that would check out, I believe.
Dan
Okay, that's
Hayek
interesting.
is teammate is at reading game though. That I do know. Where is Hayek?
31st. Currently in the
there we
order,
go,
not
okay,
to the
yeah.
lap time.
Makes sense. Senna Stoffmeal's done well since he joined at FS2, and it's gone P6. Micah's on a better lap now. They're just running these wets over and over again, presumably hoping that the track does improve. It does look like there's slightly less spray down the start finish straight than there was when we first joined the action. As Carrala, you can see him slightly lock the front, still made the apex nicely for Priority 1 Esports, that lovely Williams livery. I wonder if Patterson has a special helmet this round. We'll keep an eye out for that. Likes to throw one on occasionally. There's actually some dry patches off the track if you look carefully. It isn't slicks yet, for sure, Aziz, but it's not that far away. What helmets? He's gone back to his Nakajima helmet, hasn't he? Yeah. Back to Satoru Nakajima from Japan. Which is quite a nice helmet, actually, as it goes. And, of course, his dad raced as well, Karuki. No, wait, the other way around. Whichever way around it is. I can't actually remember now.
You're having a moment right now, aren't you? Just-
One drove for Lotus in the 80s, of course. And one in 2007? 2007 and 8 for Williams, I believe.
One of the two.
Let me have a. I'm going to have a Google of that now because I don't want to say that they're the wrong way around. Kazuki, no. Talk
I do
amongst
find it quite,
yourselves.
yeah, I do find it quite funny that you're like, Craig Patterson, he puts one on occasionally. I don't think I've actually seen Patterson's regular helmet this season.
I think
It
this is
seems like
it.
he's always got one on.
Yeah, I think
a
this.
special
I think
helmet.
this. I think this is it for this season. To be honest with you, Kazuki's the younger of the two. So there we go. Hope that answers the question no one wanted the the answer to.
I completely forgot actually what you were rambling on about.
Helmets. Here's
Yes.
Scapelli for Hutt Performance Engineering. Domenico joining Dan Hutt in his eponymous team.
What?
Eponymous means named after.
I see. That's a
Hutt.
fancy word I haven't heard before. So
Have you not?
no,
I might
I'll have to add
butchered
that
it.
to the list of words I will have to use in an essay at some point.
Eponymous, adjective of a thing named after a particular person or group. There you go.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be in the words you learn and want to use in a conversation.
If you get on
List for
eponymous
a
in a
while.
conversation, you've done very well.
Yeah,
Micah and Ockenhaug then for Optiminal seem to have found a little something for this round because they are topping the timesheets ahead of Tourmala for Cap Clay. Patrick Magnussen down in P8 for KV86. And we have who else is interesting in the top 6? So Koratko is interesting. So he's new for this season at GPVWC Academy. It was supposed to be Kasper Koritz and Kurt Rotjav, I believe. Is that right? That ain't
Kurt
right, is
Rochov
it?
and Kasper Kuritz haven't been in academies since Japan.
Why am
I
I...
want to say.
I've clicked the wrong link. No, I haven't. I've clicked the right link, but it's opened the wrong spotter guide.
Awesome.
That's wild. Thanks, Menno. That's more like it. I've got this Barcelona spot guide up now. That's why I was confused. Right, Manamana Kandan and Scarpelli are actually at Hutt Performance Engineering today. Apologies. I did a great job on the intro and then butchered reading out the spotter guide. There's no point in the spotter guide, I'll just look at the screen. That's the better thing to do. Yasser Lahtinen, that's more like it from him up to P2. And Oliver Taras behind him for Apex, his teammate as well. Rain is still falling. You can see it on the screen. Kasper Koritz, yeah, so Friesland he is now at. Okay, so GPVWC Academy team. I'll get on the second go. We've got Adamir Koratko for, I believe that's a Serbian flag, alongside Ties Jongstra, who's definitely Dutch.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't think of any other nationality that would name their children like that. Actually,
he could be Belgian, yeah.
Polish as well.
No, Vincent's right. And they both
bash their head against a keyboard and name their child that way.
Wow. I mean, Belgians do speak French or Flemish, which is a form of Dutch. So there you could have a Dutchy sounding name if you're from Belgium.
Either way.
For example,
sounds like gibberish to me.
Liam de Waal is Dutch, but I've seen de Waal as a surname also in Belgique. Kasper Koritz crosses the line, is P8 after being purple in Sector 1. I wonder if that means he's running last wing, which is a very long straight here at Barcelona. And, a little bit sideways, Quite
a bit sideways, that was.
Mike has not improved on this lap. In fact, he's lost half a second after being a 10th up through Sector 1, but still pressing on. Here's Karatko, who is purple through Sector 1, 2 tenths down in Sector 2, but still could be looking at a strong final sector. Goes through the final corner now towards the start-finish line, improves to 10th position. So well done, Damir. It's actually quite hard to get into the top 10 here, isn't it, Alex?
I would say so, because the first sector seems to be one of the hardest sectors to improve in at the minute, but everyone is improving there, I should say. It's the hardest to get right, but it also seems like it's the fastest. Maybe less rain or higher grip in that area on the wet tires. Maybe a bit more rain that's more optimal for the wet tires, but who knows, because it's just speculation. I'm a commentator, not a driver.
Yes, same these days. I would like to know if Karatko went back to the pits there. It looked like he was slowing down through turn 2, which would end his session if that's the case. He's still on track? Okay. He just went very slowly through Sector 2. I wonder if anyone's going to... It has stopped raining from what I can tell. It's difficult on our... No, it hasn't. No. It's difficult to tell on our, 18-pixel broadcast camera. It's not that bad. It's a few more pixels than that, but still, it's quite difficult to tell until you go on board, and then you can see quite clearly that it is still drizzling out there. In fact, the drier patches that appeared earlier in the session seem to have disappeared in the penultimate corner, and we actually have puddles on the start finish straight. Wet tires still working though. Magnus Ockenhaug improves up to 7th place. Joe Gillette is 9th position, which is good stuff from him. Joel Mahler you'd expect to be further up the grid and is improving on this lap, so let's see what Mikhail can do as he crosses the start finish line now. P9 only. There are a lot of people going purple through Sector 1 compared to Micah's pole lap, which may indicate that Micah's running more wing, more of a wet setup, if you like. Let's see, there's another purple sector there for Scarpelli, but nobody able to capitalize on that early start to the lap and really improve as the lap goes by. Scarpelli coming towards the start finish line now. P13 for him.
Interesting to note is that Patrick Magnussen, as he didn't race in Canada, still has his grid penalty that's left over from Imola. I can't remember the specific number of grid slots he's being knocked down, but I'm assuming it's close to the back of the grid if he stays in his current position. And I heard from Vincent Gutt that it is a 30-place grid penalty. That's what I thought it was. So that means that he's going to be starting from the back of the grid. So it's not going to be a great qualifying nonetheless for the KV86 drivers, unless Noah Tuamala is able to improve further up the grid. But I think he also has a grid penalty outstanding from last race.
Does anyone know how it works exactly? If you've got a 30-place grid penalty, for example, right? I mean, if you can't serve all of it in this round, does the rest of the positions carry over to the next one?
Precedence was Yundix in China.
Okay, so so you kind of qualify and you serve your maximum amount, and then it's done.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not like an F1 a few years ago. Captain Gutt said in my ear just then, a little voice in my ear.
Ooh, James Knox.
James Knox, ooh, indeed, up to 5th position. Knoxing on the door of the top positions there. Craig Patterson almost 2/10 of the good in the first sector, by the way. So that's a very impressive first sector. Again, there's some dry sections here now. In fact, that's fully dry. So, and it has stopped raining. So the track is going to be improving all the way to the line here. It's going to be about who crosses the line last to start their lap, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And who's on the better suited tyres? Because obviously the newer wet tyres will be cold and will warm up very quickly on dry. But people who've been out in a while.
Patterson might be that person, you know. He might cross the line with a second to go here. This would be very close. He's also purple in the first 2 sectors. If Patterson has a really good last corner here, he could easily take pole position. The priority one, esports driver flying through the final corner. It all looks good. Is he going to cross the line in time? Oh, I think he did, you know. I think he just got the line. So Patterson does take pole position provisionally at the moment, and I think he was the last person to cross the line. I'm not 100%. Is he pressing on? I don't know. It looks so close to me. Whether or not he has enough fuel, of course, is another thing. Lautinen almost 2/10 of the good. The times are going to be tumbling. So either Patterson did or didn't get the line. If he didn't, that isn't going to work in his favour necessarily. Lautinen is flying as well. It's completely dry through those couple of corners there. So this is good stuff, actually. I love it when the session dries and we don't really know what's happening. Through turn 9, Lautinen goes down towards the next sector split. Let's see what he does. Oh, another 2.5 tenths up. This is going to be a great lap time for Lautinen. Let's see what happens through the final few corners, Alex, but looking good for Lautinen.
Yeah, Lautinen, not the fastest out of everyone. Casper Kuretz further down, P15, is currently purple in Sector 2, but Lautinen will be first of the faster runners to cross the line. I stand corrected. Ola Taras moves to pole position, 34.115, and it's a late dash as Casper Kuretz moves on to pole and is quickly displaced by Jase Lautinen. Sets a 33.951. There's still runners out on track, obviously. Matusz Majka was purple in Sector 1. Not purple anymore, but is still continuing to the line. Let's see what position he can get once he crosses the line. He's going to move up to provisional pole. We're at 33.889, swerving, but we still have to consider Craig Patterson is not out on track now. Actually, after making a mistake in Sector 2, I believe, and that
I think he's
might just terminate our qualifying session.
I think Patterson's going slowly. I don't know if he knew whether or not he'd made the line or not. It was so close. Like, he crossed the line and then the red lights came on, I feel. But, I mean, we don't know exactly how the timings worked. But Majka takes pole and Lautinen P2. This is going to be spicy, though. There's some unusual drivers mixed in there. You got Senna Stoffmill P4, managed to move himself up in the last seconds of the session as well. We'll go through the whole session results momentarily, but here, in fact, they are. So Matusz Majka for Optiminal takes pole position from Lautinen. Taras, the Apex teammate, in P3. Casper Kuretz 4th. Senna Stoffmill 5th. Craig Patterson 6th position with Joe Gillette 7th. Carala 8th. James Knox 9th. Try saying that 10 times. Patrick Magnussen rounding out the top 10. 11th position goes to Magnus Ockenhaug, Ben Skinner, Tuomela, oh, that'll be fun, Koratko, Manakandan, Scapelli, Haase, Youngstra, and Hayek, rounding out the top 20. Behind them is Kurt Rotiav, Seva Panasenko, Josh Dexter, Jörn Dix, Philip Chavinsky, Oliver Charker, Christos Philo, Nick Kauper, Mike Bell, and Bjorn Golder, rounding at the top 30. And then we should have two more drivers, Caroline Harvick and Michailo Vicentievich for ST, rounding out the field. That was fun, Alex, wasn't it?
It was, but we have to consider Nick Kuiper Chris Filo, Noah Tuomela, and Patrick Magnussen all have grid penalties for this race, and so does Oliver Scharker, in fact. So we're going to have a bit of a mixed up grid than what we just saw from the outright results, as Patrick Magnussen obviously will start from the back of the grid. And similar fate, roughly, for Chris Filo. So obviously, don't take it as it is. It shouldn't be that difficult for you to distinguish between Tuomala and Tuomela, unless Tuomela likes to fight up towards Tuomala.
Yes, we'll see. We'll see. Not necessarily predictable that session. Obviously, with the changing weather conditions, it just depends what the weather's going to do. I'm going to load up the weather app I have now got access to. Thank you. Well, actually, I'll just say thank you. I now have the weather app going, so let's see what happens.
It is raining again.
Vincent just very handily said it's raining again.
It is definitely raining. Quite heavily, in fact. Okay.
Yes, let's have a look. So it is... Oh, it's raining. Okay, it says... On the weather app, it says 10 minutes of no rain and then raining. But who knows, really? I mean,
it's raining, so I don't know if I trust the weather app or if I trust R Factor.
I tell you what I do know. Mata Schmeicher is 5 or 6 kilometers an hour down in a straight line. That's why his purple... that's why everyone was beating his first sector and going purple in qualifying. So whether that will pay dividends in terms of like overall race pace, or whether he'll just be, you know, bullied down the straights and won't be able to make any progress, I don't know. That's an interesting thing to keep an eye on, Alex.
Well, you say that, but the difference in top speed probably is not an issue with the wet weather, as, you know, lower downforce doesn't really lend itself that well in the wet. Of course, you don't have that much mechanical grip, which is the grip you get from the tires, so you have to rely more on those big wings that you got on the front and back of the car to keep your pin to the ground instead of going off into a gravel trap and perishing inevitably by hitting a wall, losing a tire, losing a front wing, rear wing, or whatever body part might hit you after this.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, there's the problem the drivers will have as well is the sort of relative unknown of the braking zones. I presume most of them will have done practice in dry sort of settings, so this will be kind of relatively new to a lot of them, especially over the last 4 weeks. They will have had more time to do laps and presumably will have done more laps in dry conditions, and it looks like it's going to be rain for most of this evening, which I don't mind. It just depends on whether the drivers are able to handle that, really. That's my concern.
Alright, so presumably Toby's got a bit more of a script that he wants to not waste. So he wants me to ask him to tell us more about Barcelona, so I'm just going to let him go.
Lovely. I'm glad you asked,
because you've got a nice
Alex.
Script that you can read from, and
thanks.
I wouldn't want it to go to waste.
I'm so glad you asked, Alex. Of course I'll tell you about Barcelona. So Barcelona, the capital of Catalonia and Spain's second largest city, is actually a vibrant metropolis with a rich and diverse history that spans over 2 millennia. It was founded as a Roman colony in the 1st century BC, and it was originally named Barcino. Isn't that interesting?
That is quite interesting. How much longer does your script go on for?
I mean, if you like, Alex, and I'm just going to throw it out there, at any point where you feel like you'd like to know more about Barcelona, I'm happy to tell you.
Okay. I feel like I'm just going to get told anyway without asking, so...
I mean, for example, it has been a significant centre for art, literature and music, nurturing talents like Pablo Picasso and Joan Miro. The city's cultural vibrancy was further showcased during the 1992 Summer Olympics, which brought international attention and spurred on urban regeneration, transforming Barcelona into a modern cosmopolitan city. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. That's very interesting. Thank you.
I thought so. Personally.
There's a bit of racing going on here.
There is. Jassa Lattinen throwing it down the inside into turn 1. Very interestingly, this track used to have a variety of different corners in the centre part of the lap. La Caxa corner was actually modified for 1995. After 1994, when of course all the tracks were slowed down, they put a temporary chicane in, and I'll show you where that is. It's just before, it was where turn 9 is now, the track actually goes straight on there and then does a little chicane thing. Frankly, they've massively improved it. In fact, we'll get a nice view here from Jasalainen. So as he goes, the rain has stopped. Vincent just shouted at me. As Jasalainen goes through here, this is turn 7 and 8, which has a nice little anti-cut curb, put to stop you cheating. The track used to go straight on here, and in fact, still there's still visible elements of it just there. Look, and then does a right-left chicane. So
hello.
Oh dear. Well, at least the rain will put that out. Oh no, it's not raining.
Well, it's a fuel fire. Water doesn't really put out fuel fires that well.
No, it just sort of floats it to the surface, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for Centerhavich, probably a bit hot where he is. That's enough to say. Anyway, go ahead, give us more facts about this track. I feel like I'm asking literally AI at this point.
What do you mean you're asking AI?
I ask, give me information about Circuit Barcelona de Catalunya. Okay, here's the information about Circuit Barcelona de Catalunya.
Well, the track was resurfaced in 2018 as a result of calls by MotoGP riders to improve the amount of grip on the surface. And previous to that, the track was most recently resurfaced in 2004. So it took a long time for them to work out the new track surface.
That's what? How many years is that, Toby?
14.
I'm glad you can count. Just had to check, obviously.
No, I have it written down.
What is that? Oh my goodness, it's been that long I forgot the name of
the car. Formula Sprint 2. GPVWC.
Friesland. Oh my goodness.
Friesland. Oh my goodness.
Wow. I am not braining today. They are going and spinning and having quite a bit of fun in the rain. Probably not singing. Spinning in the rain? Singing?
Spinning in the rain.
Yes, spinning in the rain.
Did you know the track has stands with a capacity of 140,700?
147,700.
No, 140,700.
140,700. That's a lot of people.
There is a lot of people. It's not the biggest racetrack in the world, though. Which one is that in terms of capacity?
Did you go and count them yourselves?
No, I just googled it. But
you went
have a guess. Which track has the most capacity in terms of seated position?
Like worldwide?
Yes.
Malaysia?
No.
No? It's probably one of the oil country ones, surely.
No, it's any track worldwide.
Any track? Oh, Daytona.
Nope.
No? It's not Daytona.
Nope. Daytona. Do you remember that?
God.
It's apparently we need to look at YouTube chats.
Oh, I need to see the responses actually.
Yeah, let's have a look. See if anyone's got it right.
What? See if anyone's got it right. No, that's not what's being asked.
Oh, who will win race 1? Sim racing, GPVW sim racing. Put a thing up. I'm gonna vote other because that's sitting on the fence nicely.
That's unbiased, yeah. Well, people don't believe it's Matthew Schmeicher, Jasalainen, or Casper Kuritz. Well, Jasalainen the favourite, but other.
Indianapolis, highest capacity.
Okay, that makes sense actually. I genuinely thought it was either Malaysia, Daytona, or an oil country. But I guess not.
Nope.
How much will that new Saudi Arabian track have?
Jeddah, not very many. It's a street track.
No, the new one that they're coming out with.
Oh, I don't know. It's not built yet.
Oh.
No idea.
Probably they'll guess. Surely they have a target number or something. Who knows? I don't. I probably don't really care. As a track, it looks hideous to drive and look at, and also just see. With that awful little uphill, make one mistake and you're going flying 30 feet off the edge of a overpass type corner.
Yep.
That looked really fun. That looks like it was from Mario Kart, Rainbow Road, actually. I mean, that's what we should call it, Rainbow Road instead.
Rainbow Road.
Rainbow Road. Actually, I don't know how well that would go in Saudi Arabia.
Did you know in Barcelona that there is a cathedral being built called La Sagrada Familia, and it's a church that's been under construction since it's been under construction for like 150 years or something. Mad.
That's
It's still
just
being
like-
built.
I feel like that's the same people that make English roads.
I know. No, they actually do work. I have been there.
Oh, they
It
do
was-
work.
Yeah, it was started being built in 19th of March 1882, 142 years ago. Designed by Gaudi, and Gaudi actually has a park named after him in the centre of Barcelona.
You shouldn't have a park named after him if he hasn't even finished his cathedral. I don't know. It's an awful joke to make anyway, but we're here. Anything else? How long is this script of yours that we've got to go through by the end of the race?
What do you mean, how long is it?
How long is
Sound
it?
like
How
you're
many
not,
more
you sound
facts
like
have we
you're
got?
not like learning stuff here. This is
I'm
very
ignoring everything you're saying.
This is very interesting information.
If it was interesting, you wouldn't have to say it.
Oh my
Actually, what
God.
I've just read in the FS2 chat of can't wait for a random Barcelona fact while we're watching the battle for P4.
Oh, good. Oh, there we go.
Well, we've just given him ideas now, haven't we?
Do you know what the most spoken language is in Barcelona?
Spanish?
No.
Wow. English?
No.
German?
Vincent's got it right.
Oh, I don't really care.
Catalan is the correct answer.
Well, it's basically Spanish.
Don't say that to a Catalan.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I
I'm
mean
not
they
wrong.
are intrinsically linked, of course.
That's like saying Gauss isn't. I mean, actually, Ooh.
It's not. It's not like that at all. It is a
not.
completely different language. It's spelt differently and everything. In fact, have you read Scots English ever? Because Scots is its own language in its own right, but it's also not.
let's not. Let's talk about the track action of Mana Kandan out on his own. Driving in warm up.
He's doing very well. Turning
I
left
know.
here. Now
And
he's gonna
right?
turn right. Look at that.
Now he's
some
going to go
right.
straight.
Yeah, and then
Look at that car control.
look at that, and then some more right.
You know, I think this joke would be funnier with NASCAR. He's going to go turn left.
Well, let's just be glad we're not at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, but you do a bit of turning right there as well.
Not very
If you
often.
want to.
Did you watch the Indy 500 the other week, by the way? It did happen
No.
in our break. You didn't watch it.
I don't actually watch actual motorsports.
What?
I saw the clip of the qualifying of the fastest qualifying ever, but that's about it.
You don't watch actual motorsports.
Yeah, because that would involve actually paying someone, and I don't like doing that. Especially not
What, you mean
Sky.
I mean, okay, there are alternative methods of watching.
I know. I watched the San Marino Grand Prix.
Must have watched it in a pub, of course, in order
No.
to watch it
No.
legally.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I watched it in the pub.
Yeah, 100%. I also do 69 miles an hour on the motorway.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be specific, 69.9 recurring.
No, I'm not that good.
Oh, really?
No. Just somewhere close.
Anyway, I like Tom Parker's little little note of.
Be
Come to
careful,
racing.
or we will replace you with AI soon. Message.
What?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll allow it.
Where was this set?
You can hear Vincent giggling in the background in my ear.
Okay, so I will assume that is Toby and Vincent. Yeah.
It is. How long's the track, Alex?
It's 4.655 kilometers, Toby.
Very good. Very good. It says here.
I definitely didn't have it up on my other screen of the pause still at the start of qualifying.
So very interestingly this round, and this is unique for this round, is that race 1 will be 17 laps, and race 2 will be also 17 laps. So keep an eye out for that as we get to race 2. It'll be exactly the same length as the first race, and also that happens at all the other tracks, but not just here. Most of the other tracks as well. We will also do a certain number of laps, but those laps do change round by round, dependent on the lap length. So it's worked out on basically how many kilometers the whole race would be, divided by the laps gives you, divided by the circuit length gives you the laps, and this is round 7 of 16. So therefore, there's 34 laps total racing, and we're going to have 17 first. And on pole will be Mateusz Majka, and alongside him on the grid when it comes up will be Jesse Laatunen, Kasper Kuritz third, followed by Oliver Taras in P4, which means that I thought Taras was P3, but Kuritz obviously P3. Sen Stoffmehl P5, where Craig Patterson provisionally was on pole, but unfortunately P6 he was demoted to eventually. Joe Gillette and Eunice Carrala 7th and 8th. 9th position and row 5 is James Knox. Alongside him will be Magnus Ockenhaug, Ben Skinner and Tuomala 11th and 12th on row 6. Row 7 is Damir Koratko with Manu Manikandan. Alongside him, Domenico Scapelli and Florian Haase 15th and 16th positions. P17 is Thies Jongstra with Noah Tormella in 18th, Dan Hayek and Kurt Rotiav rounding up the top 20. 21st position is Seba Panasenko for Scuderia Cap Clay, with Josh Dexter 22nd, Jörn Dix and Philip Chavinsky 23rd and 24th. P25 and P26 are the Smile Power pairing of Mike Bell and Bjorn Gulder, with Caroline Harvig and Oliver Scharker set 27th and 28th. Now we're into the penalties. 29th is Vicentievich with Nick Cowper 30th, Christos Philo and Patrick Il Magnusson 31st and 32nd, and rounding out the field. Right, serious time, Alex. Who's your money on?
I'm going to go with Patrick Il Magnusson. No. In all seriousness, Mateusz Majka.
Okay.
He's messed it up before in the rain, but I think he's looking for redemption today, and I hope, honestly, that he does. Anyway, like you said, 17 laps. That is pretty unique for this round, just like all the other laps. Cars do go around the track also. That's a feature. Meow.
I know. Hello, Petal. Come to irritate me at the start of the race. So the cars are lining up on the grid. There will be 5 lights. They come on sequentially, and when they get to 5, they then wait a period of time and then go out, just like in the real F1. And we will wait for that process to begin as the final car on the grid lines up momentarily. That will be Patrick Il Magnusson. And here come the lights then. So Majka on the left, Laatunen on the right. 5 lights are on, and now they are not. And away goes the field. Majka gets a decent start, actually. Laatunen not able to challenge him in down into turn 1. If anything, Kuritz is alongside him on the outside, and Kuritz has got great straight line speed, actually. He's going to challenge for the lead as they get into turn 1, but through goes Majka. There's a little bit of contact further back as Laatunen and Kuritz go side by side, and Taras and Stoffmehl also as they head into the long sweeping right of turn 3, and it is indeed Taras that comes out on top of that. He's actually benefited from Stoffmehl there, and Patterson looking to make his way through on the inside but not able to get the overlap going. Stoffmehl will try and challenge back down the inside as they head into the tight left-hand hairpin, but it is Majka who leads the pack away, and a great start for him.
Yeah, there's a bit of chaos at the back. Probably, I think it was Jörn Dix who got an awful start, got pushed onto the grass at turn 1. And I have to mention Patrick Il Magnusson, an excellent start, already up into P21. And Florian Haase also falling down the order. He hasn't actually set a first sector time according to race viewers. We're getting a few yellows, and we can't really see much that's going on down this straight thanks to the spray, but I'm willing to assume that it's Björn Gulder who's fan out. And who's that going down the inside?
No!
And
I
that's
don't know
David Yunt, who's
No,
spun around and
it-
it's going to be scrubbed dead. Not David Yunt, sorry, Ben Skinner. it
Ben
must be.
Skinner, yes, he's driving the Yunt car, so I can understand why you would
I
say that. But
Jay and,
Mhm. Yeah, no, he the helmet very recognisable, Yunt's helmet as well. So, but yeah, Patterson P6, we're watching him now. That was Magnussen as well that got sideways in sympathy, and unfortunately unable to make those positions through. He is 18th still. Noah Tourmello as well, his teammate in 17th. So good start from Magnussen. As you say, he has made up 14 positions on the opening lap, so keeping his nose clean very well. But Micah does lead. He's got over a second from Lahtinen with Koritz in P3. This does look like the higher downforce is working nicely in the wet, actually, for Mateusz Micah. He is 5-6 kilometers down compared to his rivals, but able to use that additional downforce in the rainy conditions in the middle part of the lap, and that is what's benefiting him and enabling him to get away a little bit. Further back, we're looking at Ockenhaug. It is a bit sort of follow the leader here at Spain sometimes, even in the rain, and especially in the rain, actually, in R-Factor 2, because, of course, the line itself is the driest part on the track. It's not like you can go offline and find additional grip like you might be able to in real life. It does work best to follow the racing line. Actually, it works best to follow the AI racing line, because that's where it's going to most likely dry fastest. But James Knox here battling away. He I think he's lost a position off the grid. He was in and amongst the back end of the top 10 nevertheless. But yeah, so Micah now 1.6 to the good. He's had a great opening couple of laps.
Yeah, and Youngstra and Goldo out of the race, and I believe so is Ben Skinner now, who's also, not Ben Skinner, sorry, Josh Dexter, who's also retired as the first retirees of the race after a few lap 1 and lap 2 incidents. And who's that further back? Is that Michael Tuamala going around the outside of Magnus Ockenhaug? And I say sorry, Mikhail Tuamala, not Michael. That's not how you say that. He makes the move up into P9. And while we're here, do you want to give us a Barcelona fact, or do you want to focus on the race?
Oh, no, we're all good. Seba Panasenko unfortunately disconnected on the formation lap, so that's why he is not in the race. That's a shame for him, but he is now in YouTube chats, as you all can be. Feel free to message away. I do try and keep an eye on it as the race goes on. But for now, everyone's being relatively patient. There's not too many mistakes being made. And as you said, we've only got a couple of DNFs, so relatively clean start to what it could have been quite a chaotic opening. And in fact, Magnussen now has moved up to 17th position, ahead of Haza and Tuamela as teammate as well, up to 15th. He's got by Carrala in the last lap or so.
Yeah, and the issue, what I've actually realised is I haven't seen that throttle brake input graphic in quite some time. Actually, I don't think. Oh, that's Jonas Carrala, who's spinning out and losing a few positions at turn 10. That's unfortunate for the priority 1 driver. Moves down to 18th, but Magnussen and Haza going to get past him, and Magnussen now up into E16. And I imagine he's on some good points this race, as Tuamala is looking a bit racy further ahead, but I think he's lost a bit on the start as Karatko goes past Magnus Ockenhaug, who's not having the greatest of opening laps here in Barcelona. He's already dropping back quite some time from, I don't actually know where he started, to be totally honest with you. I don't actually, it was 8th or 9th, I want
10th,
to hope.
he was 10th.
10th? Okay,
Yeah.
so he's not fell that far back.
So Magnussen's, look, in fact, you can see on the graphic on the left, so Magnussen's made 16 positions. Mike Bell as well having a great start, getting himself into the reverse grid potential. We've not talked about that, but positions 10 to 15 are potential positions for reverse grid pole. It's a random number that Chris Williamson generates. It's always number 10, so but it's a random number between 10 and 15, so you have to be in it to win it. Of course, if you're P9, you end up at worst you're going to be P6, you could be P2. So it's as long as you're in the top 15, you're in with a shout in race 2. It does mix it up nicely in Formula Sprint 2 and Formula Sprint 1, and that actually a really cool feature of those two sprint championships that we have here at GPVWC. You can catch Formula Sprint 1 in a couple of days on Thursday, but for now we're in Formula Sprint 2, the lower rung on our career ladder. Not the lowest, there is Academy, but it's the first league with teams in it, and Senna Stoffmeal for 01 Esports is tracking Oliver Taras, using a bit of a esports line into the opening, into the first corner, using all of the available tarmac on the outside. And Karatko is doing well as well for GPVWC Academy, as you can see. Patrick Magnussen maximising that track as well, and he's got a great run actually by doing so. It does open the corner up nicely. Not the easiest on under braking, braking on the curb. It can unsettle the outside tyres as you turn in. Let's have a little look at a replay. What's going on here, Alex, then?
So this will be Björn Goller's retirement, and it looks like it's going to be a problem with turn 7 and 8, and oh, that's unfortunate. Brake do that. Yeah, I guess just don't brake while spinning.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, what is going on there? Oh wow, wow.
Not ideal. Oh
no! Ouch. That's painful for the car.
Oh, where's that tyre going?
That. It's going on a little adventure there, I think.
We saw this as well, of course. We saw this live, so no Tuamela. It was Tuamela, not Patrick Magnussen, actually. Spinning sideways, just avoiding Ben Skinner. And recovering. And this is what happened to Josh Dexter as well. So I think this will just be a back-end loss, probably.
Turn 3 and...
Oh, overcorrected. That is so easily done, by the way. Trying to be a hero on the throttle and control it with the wheel, you sometimes just have to let the throttle do the work in a slide. In the wet especially, it's so easy to get that front grip back again. And if you let your hands do the work, you can end up with that snap in a single seater. They're not designed to go sideways through a corner aerodynamically or mechanically. And it's best to just let the slide sort itself out with the pedals most of the time. Something that is a lesson to be learned. You have to have lightning fast hands to do it with your hands. Dan Hayek we're watching now, P20, his teammate, former teammate, Matt Schmeichel in P1. I should remember this, he's joined up Terminal now, Micah. And doing a good job, by the way. 3.1 seconds to the good ahead of Jesse Lahtinen, who obliterated everyone earlier this season in a couple of rounds. So Micah doing a superb job there. And Kasper Koritz as well came through, I believe he came through the GPVWC Academy route. He's in P3 now. So Koritz definitely was, I think it was Japan. Did he join us at Japan, Alex?
Yeah, that sounds right. And he had a quite unlucky 2 races at Japan. I think race 2, he slammed it into a barrier, and that's Mike Bell, I think. No, that's the other Smile Power racing car. If I just pull up my race view, I might actually be able to tell you. That was, in fact, wow, I'm blind.
Well, Golda is the other car, right?
Golda is out. That was a Smile Power, so it must have been the Friesland.
It must have been Friesland. Yeah, the Smile Power this year is very orangey compared to the yellow we're used to for Smile Power. Not saying that's a bad thing, it's just it's easy to get those two confused, I would say. I've done that myself too. Bell in that 14th place, but I would say he is his time is running out there with the 2 KV86s behind. We both of those two very fast all season, especially Magnussen is miles out of position. From a championship point of view, you would say that anyway. So I think his days are numbered.
I wouldn't say that much. I think Bell is in a very strong position to hold up the 2 KV86 drivers. But Magnussen, a little fun fact that I learned only thanks to the efforts of Vincent Gutt during the break, was that he's led the most laps in FS2.
Really?
It was 58 out of the total laps we've had this season. And if I can find that graphic, I might actually be able to validate it.
That's a great fact, because he actually missed Canada as well, didn't he? So
I'll try and find it. But
here comes Tuamela down the inside. He's left that way too late. Mike Bell way too experienced to let that one slide, and nips back down the inside. Oh, this is getting brave from Montmeló. This could result in a little bit of contact if he's not careful. That's 2 corners in a row where he's chucked it down the inside and hope it sticks. And to be honest with you, not really required. If he has a pace, if he has the pace to overtake Mike Bell on track, he should just wait for the proper opportunity. Further back, Florian Haase was running a little bit wide through the final turn, but I don't think he's going to be under pressure for now. Bell has the straight line speed, actually. Now I'm wondering if Montmeló is doing this because he doesn't have that straight line speed that Bell has. Trying to get by in a more unusual part of the track. He's going to have a decent run through turn 3 because I doubt it's completely flat in the wet. It might be. Can't see the inputs on this lap, but we have seen people sideways, so it'll be close. But Montmeló has to get through in a sort of more unconventional position with that straight line speed deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me correct myself. 41 laps led was the total for Patrick Magnussen, followed closely by, I say closely, it's Luc Meunier, who led for most of the Canadian 2 races. He's 21st. Sorry, he's got 21 laps led out of everyone in second. And Lassinen, we have 1 behind Meunier in 20 laps led total. Now, Lassinen has not extended that, and Magnussen, of course, will still be at the top. But I wonder where Micah will be after this round, if he's able to hold on to that position of first until the end of the race, and it looks like he will, unless he makes an error, as that high downforce setup is working very well for him ahead of Jesse Lassinen. Nice, just iTunes constantly. It's a joke that I've made 3 races in a row now that iTunes is popping up.
Yeah, no,
It's
100%.
true.
Yep, 100%. It's you got to make sure you've got all those sort of apps disabled. In fact, we've got Montmeló letting Magnussen through here, so Magnussen feeling like he's got more pace. He is second in the championship, only to Latin, and further back we've got a fight going on between Rotiav and Corrala. Rotiav down the inside, Corrala trying to fight back, and through goes Rotiav. Great move there. He actually sent it down the inside and then hung on around the outside of turn 2. It is possible to do that, but Corrala will not want to let him get away too quickly if he can help it. They are fighting over the lower end of the teams, but anything can happen further forwards. That could turn into points and reverse grid, so certainly one to keep an eye out. Those guys definitely pushing towards what is now a Mike Bell train, and I think Magnussen will want to get by sooner rather than later. He must feel like he can get onto the back of the likes of Manikandan and Scapelli ahead in the Hut Performance Engineering cars, but he just doesn't have. So there's the dirty air is a problem, isn't it, basically? So if you don't have the straight line speed advantage, you get close in the corners, but the dirty air is just taking that advantage away. And Bell is, as you say, is actually hanging on very well. So I take it back. He's doing a good job here of defending his position, driving sensible lines, not pushing too hard through the corners and losing time and getting bad exits either. You can see from Magnussen's POV here, he just does not have the downforce he needs in that dirty air. And of course, as soon as we get to the straight, Bell just has enough in a straight line to keep the position, and Magnussen not able to get close enough.
Yeah, and also Bell is just getting better exits out of corners. It feels like you say he's not getting close enough, though. He's going to look to the inside at turn 1, but backs out very swiftly. Obviously not confident in the grip he has. I really thought we were about to see another move into turn 1 by Magnussen, which we saw last lap by Kurt Rochab, and I honestly thought when Rochab made that move there was going to be a bit of contact between the two of them, but nonetheless we're still watching Magnussen and Bell. I'm honestly impressed by Bell's ability to defend his position, make that Smile Power car as wide as physically possible. Obviously not literally as Magnussen, right on the diffuser of the yellow-orange, what do we even call that colour?
Ochre. Yellow ochre.
Ochre? Okay.
Yeah, so it would be yellow ochre in my paint set. Magnussen is right on the gearbox, as you say, of the Smart. But see, the dirty air just means he can't get through turn 9 fast enough to get a decent run down into 10. And this is the other sort of opportunity on the track. It's not as good as it used to be with a tighter apex. We now have this sort of flowing outside bit that was where the original track was. They sharpened it off. I don't know when, 2008, something like that. And now we've gone back to the old layout, which I prefer from a driving point of view, but does take away one of the braking zones a little bit, to be fair. Magnussen's closer this time, though, down the start-finish straight. This could be the one. In fact, Bell has gone defensive early. Magnussen's going to go to the inside anyway. Bell's going to try and tighten his line. Magnussen on the inside. This should be enough. Bell trying to hang it out around the outside in turn 2. There's going to be contact. They're still side by side, but Magnussen's through and takes that position away. You can see it isn't flat out turn 3. Little lifting on the throttle in the bottom right on the throttle trace, but through goes Magnussen. That unlocks him, and hopefully for his sake he will be able to make more positions before the race ends, and now he is no longer in the Bell train.
Yeah, but positively for Tuamela, Bell is now going to be one who's also going to be suffering from that dirty air, and now it should be an easier move for him to make and get into the points. And theoretically, if Tuamela gets past Mike Bell by the end of the race, it could be a 1-2 start in race 2 for KV86 as Tuamela looks to the inside in turn, I think that's turn 9. You can't exactly make a move there, but Tuamela not that far behind, 2 temps. Bit optimistic to go for a move, so it's just going to be sticking to that diffuser, that gearbox, as that Mike Bell struggling to keep the rear end. And that KV86 car is very much on this contact.
No. That was awful. That too. I'd said this like when it was Tuamela versus Bell earlier. It looked like there was going to be contact between the two because Tuamela was getting desperate in that exact corner, and that was terrible driving from Tuamela. Threw it up the inside and smashed into the side of Bell. And once again, Mike Bell in a great position and gets taken out of that position by another driver. It's happened multiple times this season. That was awful.
I would love to see the onboard, honestly, of this, because that's not a great onboard, is it?
No, that's a better one, but let's have another go, yeah.
Here we go. We'll try 2. Let's see. Does he have the overlap? I mean, he does, but he just understeers into him. I don't know now.
I mean, it's still not an overtaking opportunity, but I'm not going to say, you know, I don't think Bell's completely blameless on second viewing. Still, a rubbish place to give it a go from Tuamela. I mean, you're sending it in the braking zone. He didn't have the overlap until the brakes, so it's still a dive bomb. One of them that if it gets reviewed, it's going to be sort of 70-30 rather than fully Tuamela's fault, but still. Craig Patterson quietly in P6, by the way. Alex,
that's very qualified, to be fair.
Yeah, but he's kept it, and he's kept a long way ahead of Joe Gillette as well. So kept decent pace as well. If we just take Micah out of the picture, this is a decent showing for Craig. Micah's definitely running a lot more wing than everyone else. He will struggle in race 2 to get through the... Bless you, Vince. He will struggle to get through the pack as we go through the race, I would say, with that high downforce. That's my thought process.
Well, if I'm not wrong, we've got 13 different teams in the top 15 at the minute, all to score points. I mean, if you're counting the academy team, that is, it's 12 if you don't count the academy team. But otherwise, I think that's quite impressive. And Barcelona does tend to produce these kind of results where it's a mix of just about everyone in the top 15 or in the points, especially in F1. Nowhere has it shown truer than there, apart from in recent years, obviously, because recent years, it's just this car's fastest and it's predictable. Anyway, back to FS2, where we've got a stock series of same car, not the same setup, and that's the only place where people really find their advantages other than their driving. I think this is actually quite interesting to see, and I wonder how it will be in race 2 as well, as some of the drivers that are out, including Nick Kuiper now, out of the race, will be re-involved into the race. And I think if we keep these wet conditions, it could produce an interesting race 2.
Yes, it will.
As race 2 does generally seem to be the more interesting out of the 2 races.
we've got some comments in the YouTube chat. So Luke Mitchell's silly move at that corner in these conditions, and then Alex Lahoo saying I think it's a fair move in my opinion. I'm siding more towards Luke there, to be fair. I do think it's a stupid place to give that a go. You're sending it down the inside and hoping the other person sees you and gets out of the way. I mean, that's not, a realistic opportunity to overtake, in my opinion, for Noah Tuamela. The rain, there's definitely more rain than there was in qualifying. There's a lot of spray all around the track. It is at 13%, which is a lovely metric. I love the science behind weather. It's basically, that is still enough to keep the track from drying out. 13%, that's right whereabouts it stops drying out in R Factor 2. Here's what happened to Mano Manikandan, who was in the points positions earlier in the race. I think we're going to see, oh no, an overcorrect.
And he gets to do a full lap around with no front wing.
Does he? I don't know if is he gone past the
Yes,
pit lane entry there? Yeah, sorry,
definitely.
my bad, yeah. Yeah, yes. So, and waiting patiently for the field to go through, which is actually fairly sensible of him. Well done, Mano.
Oh, I don't think that counts.
Naughty!
Oh,
Naughty man. He will not get away with that if that gets reported. Couldn't think of the word for report.
yes.
Josh Dexter said cut the
Indeed.
cameras quickly. No, he caught you, naughty man. Stop, Bill, going through. Come on, get Taras on the outside. Let's go. Oh, no. Oh, Taras has gone into him and he's gone round. Oh, I don't know about that one. I felt like Taras could have backed out, but Stoffmill equally might have squeezed him. This will need a replay. Please.
Yep. Pretty please.
Pretty please, cherries and all that. There we go.
Yep. Here we go. Let's see. Oh,
Well,
on board. That'll be useful.
yeah. Oh, Do you know what? That exact thing happened to Luke Maguire last season in Super League between himself and Stefan Ruo, and that was marked as a racing incident. Now, the thing is, this season is that they are supposed to leave more space than that, even though in reality, in like racing conditions, you can't leave a full car's width to the inside there, because of course the car on the inside is going to take some curb. It's very difficult to call, but by the letter of the law, Taras is entitled to more space there. I would say. I'm going to be corrected probably by Vince over in my ear momentarily, but. Well, what do you think of that, Vince? We'll report back. Don't worry, guys. You have to leave more space this year.
Question mark at the end of that.
Yes, you do. The rules have been changed, haven't they? You've got, yeah, so you have to leave. Why'd you say it like a question? Yeah, the rules say that you have to leave more space than that.
Alex Lahoo saying that it's the cyclist's fault. The cyclist's fault.
The cyclist's fault?
Yes, you haven't been spending this much time on the internet, I see.
I know, I don't spend any time on the internet if I can't help it.
Yeah, it's a new joke, really, that any incident on the road is a cyclist's fault, even if there is no cyclist.
Fair. Right, understood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tricky because Taras wasn't alongside. Like, I think he'd been cleared and then sort of braked into the space, and Stoffmill did leave him some room. Like in most other racing series, and I like GPVWC, but I do feel like this rule could be tweaked. Leaving a full car's width there is not always necessary, and I feel like that was probably Stoffmill's corner. But we'll see what happens. See what the guys say when the reports get put in, if it does indeed get put in. What it does mean is that Stoffmill and Patterson are now both 4th and 5th, with Taras down to 8th. He actually only lost 4 positions in that, Taras. Shows you how spread out the top 10 are currently. Slightly exacerbated by the 6-second lead that Micah has as he heads on to the final lap. We haven't seen him, which, to be honest, when you win a race is probably the best thing possible. You want to win it without any drama, and Micah has done just that. Latin unable to stick with him, and best part of 3/10 a lap. To the good, Micah has pulled out over him. Stoffmeal presumably will have a small amount of damage, so Patterson might fancy his chances at getting by in this final few kilometres. Here's Eunice Carrala battling away with, is that Tuamela therefore?
Yes.
Yes, so with Noah Tuamela. Patrick Magnussen is in reverse grid positions. Are you okay, Vince? You're sneezing a lot today. You just says, oh, coughing. Oh, sorry. I assumed it was a sneeze. Anyway, sorry. You can't hear this conversation.
Racing.
Racing. Eunice Carrala not able to get by Noah Tuamela. In fact, I believe that was a swap the other way around, probably. Patterson not close enough either to Stoffmeal. I don't think there's any... I mean, Karatko and Ockenhauger within half a second, but I don't feel like that's going to change any... I mean, that's been like that for a couple of laps, hasn't it? So I think as we get into the final couple of corners and Micah heading into, in fact, the final... well, literally the final two corners. A great job done by Matisz Micah for Optimal. He rounds the final corner on lap 17 of 17. Weaves his way across the start-finish line. A great win for Micah and Optimal. P2 will go to Lahtinen, and Kuritz will round out the top three. And Alex, I think that was a very good drive by Micah.
Yeah, flawless from start to finish, and qualifying pole. Didn't even get challenged off the start, really, did he? As Karatko in his first race will actually cross the line in P10, and that was a bit close there for P8 up until P11. I didn't actually notice that those cars were that close together. And a great recovery drive also for Patrick Magnussen. Further back, P13, who started P32. Well, actually P31, thanks to the disconnect of Seba Panasenko. But still a great drive from him, and it would be even better if reverse grid was P13, because then he'd be starting from pole position. And by then, probably going to win that race. But who knows? We've actually been thrown quite a few curveballs with today's race, especially with the contact between Mike Bell and then later on Oliver Taras. So yeah, overall a very interesting race, and I know you hate my essays describing the races, but
no, I thoroughly appreciate them. I enjoy a good essay. So yeah, great win for Micah, and he has done a great, great job for Optimal. But no, I like an essay from you.
okay, I'll keep it in mind.
Give me more. In fact, essay, did you know, is Spanish for slang to refer to a mate or a person.
No, I did not.
Now you do. There you go.
Okay.
Fun Spanish fact of the day. I've only done one.
Vince wants us to go through the results.
Here they are. You do it.
Okay, it was Matisz Micah taking the win, followed by Jaso Lahtinen and Kasper Kuritz to round out the podium. Senna Stoffmeal P4 after contact with Oliver Taras, Craig Patterson behind him P5, Joe Gillette for Hunter Birch P6, and James Knox P7, Oliver Taras P8, Michael Tuamala P9, Karatko for GPVWC Academy P10. P11, Magnus Ockenhaug with Domenico Scarpelli, P12, Patrick Magnussen, P13, Florian Haase, 14th, and Kurt Rojov, last of the points finishers, P15, Philip Savinsky, 16th, and Christos Svilo, 17th behind him. Jörn Dix and Dan Hayek, 18th and 19th, with Noah Tuamel at 20th. 21st is Eunice Carrala with Mike Bell and Oliver Shaka behind him, 22nd and 23rd. Caroline Harvick, P24, with Mihailo Vicentjevic in P25. Ben Skinner, 26th. Manaman Handan, 27th, and actually DNF'd after his contact with the wall. Nick Kuiper, Josh Dexter, and Thijs Jongstra all out as well. And the last finisher, Björn Golder, out on the first lap for Smile Power Racing in 31st. And what a race we had in race one. And honestly, without the reverse grid, who do you think has a good chance in race two?
Well, I don't think Micah. I think he'll struggle to get through the pack despite his electric pace, considering his lack of straight line speed. So I wouldn't say it's as easy as picking the race one winner this time round. Depends entirely on the reverse grid. Let's see what the reverse grid says, and as the moment that comes through, then I'll make a prediction. But there's some drivers in the back half, like Magnus Ockenhaug, right, in P11. We know he's got decent pace. If he ends up on pole, he might do something.
Yep, and I think we're being begged to go to a break, so we'll see you after, and we'll talk about it more then.
Welcome back, everybody, to Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain. And we are excited for another 17 laps of racing, where there will be a reverse grid, and we are yet to find out exactly how many people will be reversed. They don't actually get turned backwards, by the way. What happens is, rather than them facing... It would be dangerous to start them facing backwards on the start-finish line. So what they're going to do is somewhere between P10 and P15, the actual order is reversed. We should call it something else, shouldn't we? Reverse order grid. Because it's not clear.
Oh, okay.
14! Florian Haase is on pole. Excellent
Oh,
news.
it's 14! It's not P10.
I would have put some money on it being P10. It has been P10 a lot this year.
I think we need to do statistical analysis on the whole what number reverse grid we get. 'Cause I don't think it's
Do we need
unbiased.
to? Do we?
Yes,
I mean,
we
need
need
is a
to.
strong word for that.
We need to.
We
It's
need
absolutely
to.
necessary.
I don't. I don't feel that at all. No, to be honest, not a great deal of this is absolutely necessary, Alex.
No, it is.
I'll allow it can be fun to commentate on FS2, but I definitely don't think we need to do statistical analysis on the
We do.
like percentage of
absolutely
reverse
do.
grids.
I could do it as we're speaking right now during the warm-up session. It's not that difficult.
So Florian Hazer will be facing backwards going out into turn. Well, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully his reverse gear is well oiled and got enough.
Who will
grease
win
on it.
race 2? Florian Hazer, Patrick Magnussen, or Domenico Scarpelli are the options in the
Or other.
voting. I'm actually going to go Magnussen, I think.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with you, provided he has a clean race and doesn't redo what he did last year by starting
Redo.
the Icelandic base program in turn 1 over the sausage curbs.
Icelandic space program.
Yes.
Oh my god. Did you know, fun fact about Icelandic surnames, they are all patronyms, so they take after their father. So Patrick Magnussen's father is called Magnus.
The Patrick patronym. What just happened in front of my eyes?
Tandem spinning.
Synchronized spinning, yes.
Yeah, beautiful that. Yeah, patronym is named after your father. So your surname is your father's name with son on the end.
I will keep it in mind.
Another
I would-
additional
I mean,
fact
I
about
would
Icelandic
forget it.
names, right? That you can only choose from a certain number of them. So you have to name your son after one of the names that are on offer, basically.
Okay.
Otherwise, you end up with, if you call your son Peaches, for example, it's silly because then their son would be Peach's son. And it's so also as well is that if you're female, you take after your father's name, but then you put Dottir on the end, which means daughter. So if Patrick Magnussen has a sister, I don't know if he does or not, she would be whatever name she is, followed by Magnus Dottir. So it's not just Spanish facts today.
Okay. Got any other nationality facts or just those?
Yeah, actually, we have a Serbian on the grid today, don't we? And England are playing Serbia on Sunday, and we're going to lose.
Oh, wow. Great optimism.
And do you know why? It's because England lost to Iceland the other day.
Okay, we'll watch. We're done. It's over.
It's not
It is
coming
not
home.
coming
No,
home.
it is not. Vincent just said it's not coming home. He's right. No, he's right. It is not
It never
coming home.
has been. Apart from
It's actually being held in Germany as well, and the likelihood of a host winning the Euros is a great deal higher. When
although the last
host
time we
country
went to
hosts it.
Germany, we did win.
No, we didn't.
Admit.
What do you mean?
In 45.
Wow! No, the last time we went to Germany was 2006 World Cup, and we got knocked out
Okay.
by Portugal
Nope.
because. And I
We're not
swear to
talking
God,
about this.
I no, we are talking about 2006.
Warm up is
Euro.
over. Okay.
It's not until I finish this. I'm still grumpy about the sending off of Wayne Rooney, right? Because Cristiano Ronaldo got trodden on and he winked at the referee, and I've never forgiven him. We used to be best mates, me and Cristiano.
Okay.
England
You're no
finishing
longer
fourth
friends
in
with
the
him.
group is strong. By the way, we only get to talk about before the Euros once, because next time we speak in 2 weeks' time, we'll already have been knocked out.
Oh, that's funny. We can still complain about it.
Oh, Scotland aren't scoring a goal from Josh Dexter. They might. Che Adams is decent. Tell you who isn't scoring a goal in the Euros? Wales.
Wow.
They didn't make it.
Wow. That's rude.
Right, let's get our racing hats back on.
They were ever on?
Oh, sometimes during our broadcast.
Really?
Occasionally. Okay, we're going to race. Okay.
Yep, that's a race. That's a great.
That's where. Oh, it's not raining. Now it is. Okay, now it is.
Oh,
Good.
it's water falling from the sky. Oh, yep.
Okay, so here we are. More laps involved in race
17
two.
of them this time. Yep.
Yep. This time
Same
we've got
as race
17.
one. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's one more than 16.
Results are equal between Scarpelli and Magnussen, by the way, as to who will win.
I think it's biased.
Thank you to the 29 people who voted.
29 people.
Joe Gillette put what? Sorry, 29 people
29
voted. Yeah,
people. Wow.
50 people are watching right now.
I'm impressed.
Well, you know, we provide a lot of fun, I think.
We're entertaining. Yeah. We're the best team out of all of them in terms of commentary.
Top duo.
Yes, absolutely.
I hope so. I do my
Maybe we should
very
poll.
I do my very Should we poll who's the best commentator? That's so narcissistic.
Not out of us, but out of everyone, out of all the duos. I mean, they haven't actually seen the Carlos Ross McIntyre duo. Anyway,
No, true. That's coming up
Rid.
soon, isn't it? Yeah. Me or you?
You could do it.
Me.
Yeah.
Florian Hazard's on pole, Patrick Magnussen P2. Domenico Scarpelli is in third position with Magnus Ockenhaug in fourth place. Fifth on row 3 is Damir Karatko. Keep an eye out for him. He was did great job to get into the top 10 in race 1. Mikhail Tormala P6, P7 to Oliver Taras and James Knox in 8th. Row 5 is Joe Gillette and Craig Patterson, Senna Stoffmeal and Kasper Koritz on row 6. Row 7 is Yasser Latnen and race 1 winner Mateusz Majka with Kurt Rotjav and Filip Chavinsky 15th and 16th. Row 9 goes to Kirstas Svilo. I butchered that. Jörn Dix in 18th position with 19th Dan Hayek and 20th Noah Tuamela. 21st and 22nd are Jonas Karala and Mike Bell with Oliver Scharke and Caroline Harvig 23rd and 24th. P25 goes to Mihailo Vicentievich with Ben Skinner behind him. P27 Nick Cowper and Josh Dexter behind him in 28th. 29th place on the grid is Thijs Jonstra with Bjorn Gold at 30th. And Seva Panasenko is going to attempt to race in P31. Hopefully his computer holds out. He did disconnect from the previous race. We are missing one driver. Not sure who. Manikandan? I feel like I didn't read that out.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
I've smashed it straight away.
Wow.
Top bins.
We didn't even need Chris. Oh, it's that one. Like we usually do.
Love that for me.
Yeah, good job. Anyway,
God's
who's
sake.
this? This is a car. I don't know who it is.
What do you mean, who's that? That's Seva Panasenko attempting to race. Hopefully his computer holds out. Were you not
Well,
listening?
They weren't in my my current
Brain.
memory, my random
Yeah.
access memory.
Here we go!
Race! Yes!
Here come the
Right.
lights. There's 3 of them. Now there's 4, and now there's a 5th. And it's go! Haase gets away, but I think he's going to be beaten down into turn 1 by Magnussen, who is already alongside Florian Haase and easily going to take P1 behind them, making it 3 wide. Oh, this could be dangerous, actually. Haase is on the outside. Little bit of contact as they head through turn 1, but through goes Magnussen, and he will be absolutely the favourite to win this. Florian Haase trying to hold on to P2. He is on the inside line. Can he hold that as Scarpelli tries to go round the outside? Florian Haase not giving him a great deal of room, and Haase holds on to that position from Scarpelli. And already Magnussen has got a huge gap as Haase gets very sideways and is holding on to that position nicely. Through on the inside is Ockenhaug trying to make that move on Scarpelli as they head towards 7 and 8. And Magnussen, a great getaway, and already leads.
Yeah, and Ockenhaug, Scarpelli goes out to the left of the track, and Ockenhaug gets past him into the podium position. I was just talking about him. He was sideways through turn 3, and he was quite struggling to keep it under control, as now Scarpelli is under attack by Karatko, who's going to have the inside line, and presumably is going to take P4, but Oliver Taras is going to have a bit of a say on it, and Scarpelli is down to P6, and Taras up to P5. It's a good start for him as well. He was P8 after... No, he wasn't. He was P6 after the reverse grid, I believe, so he's up one position with Scarpelli, and Scarpelli is not having a great start at all, starting from P3, now down in P6. But anyway, great start for Karatko, the academy driver for this race, who finished P10 in race 1, P4 currently, and he's having quite a good race. But Taras looks to the outside and tries to take that away from him, and Karatko fights it to the inside, and that's a great defense, actually, late on the brakes, and just keeps ahead of Taras for now. And there's action further back that we aren't going to watch too much, but Scarpelli gets taken by Tuamala, and also James Knox now looks to the inside of Scarpelli and is going to make the move into turn 4. Late on the brakes, but Scarpelli holds it around the outside, but I don't think he's got enough grip for now, but he does have the inside actually into turn 5, and this is great side-by-side action from the two of them, and I think Knox is going to have a bit of a better exit to fight into turn 7, but it turns out no, Scarpelli is able to keep ahead, and wow, what a defense from him. I say that, he has dropped from P3, but against Knox, great defense himself.
Absolutely. Knox was fully alongside, and you'd expect him to hold that position, but Scarpelli defending nicely. But will be disappointed to be in P7, considering where he started, as down the inside goes Joe Gillette, trying to make that one stick. I don't think he will. Knox will hold that around the outside. Keep an eye out on Micah. He's not made the positions up. As I thought, this straight line speed that he doesn't have is just not enabling him to get through the pack, even though he probably has the fastest car on the track right now. He just isn't able to use it. And he's right behind Senna Stoffmeal as they come through the fast couple of final corners. But in fact, Micah is now through side by side with Stoffmeal down the start-finish straight. Further back, we're watching Tuamala line up Scarpelli, Oliver Taras. And look, Micah is not able to get by. If you look on the tower, he's not got by Stoffmeal, even though he was briefly ahead. So he's got way more downforce and therefore way more grip in the corners, but in a straight line, it's just not happening for him.
Yeah, and great news for Patrick Magnusson. Jasse Lahtinen not in the race anymore. I think he retired on lap 1, and it'd be convenient if this was a nice little replay. Thank you, Vincent. And exactly what happened to Jasse Lahtinen. And
it's
he gets
by
on
himself.
the curb and loses it. And,
oh, dearie me. Please get off the track.
Please stop. Escape. Thanks. No? What actually happened? Did he?
This is another one. Look at the throttle trace. Stays full throttle. Tries to deal with it. It was the curb, but he stayed full throttle and tried to deal with it with his hands. I was talking about this earlier. Just come off the throttle, and it doesn't do that. And that is a dangerous. Well done for escaping. But yeah, he stayed full throttle on the throttle trace. Tried to recover it with his hands. You just can't do that in a single-seater car in low grip conditions. You are just going to bin it.
Well, you say that. A few drivers are able to do it, but obviously you try your luck too many times, you're going to get beat at least once, and it seems like Lahtinen just a bit too overconfident on his throttle pedal and a bit too confident in his own abilities. But Ockenhaug, after an unimpressive race 1 up into P3, and is currently under attack by Karatko, who looks to the inside into turn 1 and is ahead by the time we get to the braking zone. And it's looking on even for P2 if he's able to get past Florian Haase.
Yeah, Ockenhaug made a right mess of the final corner, got wide onto the curb, and he was actually in with a shout of drafting Haase down into the first corner, but threw it all away. It was a really scrappy sort of final corner for him, and that's why he got overtaken by Karatko. Karatko, by the way, new to the series, P3.
Yeah, it's a great debut race. I say great debut races for him, especially if he's able to hold that position. P10 and P3 is impressive enough to get, well, basically, onto any team you want on the grid, or even looking at a drive in FS1 if you're lucky, as a few drivers I know have skipped FS2 and just gone straight into FS1. Well, I say debut. It's debut this season, of course, for Krutko, and he's not doing too bad. That's enough to say on that.
We've unfortunately lost Nick Cowper somewhere along the lines. Didn't see what happened to him in that replay. It wasn't part of it, but we will surely find out. We've also lost Sharka Panasenko as well. Presumably his computer didn't work. And Vicentijevic also a DNF. I don't think that's the last time I'll say that. James Knox here is still scrapping away with Scapelli, who is holding him off nicely. And behind them, Gillette is under pressure from Craig Patterson, who had a strong race one. And look at the straight line. He's not able to make any progress at all in a straight line. Must mean he's running more downforce. He's going to throw it up the inside here of Gillette. And he has enough of an overlap to be entitled to some ground. Good racing from the pair of them. And Gillette holds on.
Now, Pua Mella, the KB86, sets the fastest lap, but he's down in P22, which is just outright out of position for the KB86 driver. And, of course, that team leading the team championship. And I believe I saw from Nick Cloper put in chat, he only got past the first two corners, setting those rather sarcastically, I believe. First two corners his favourite, lost a tyre and didn't have to drive the rest of the track. So I'm assuming, based on that, that was a lap one retirement for him, and probably not too happy about it as Thijs Youngstra is under attack by Josh Dexter and Dan Hayek. Because that Breccia Narrow looks a bit different. There's a bit of white on it this race out, and I didn't realise that up until now. I was trying to work out which ST Racing is that, or which RNG was that. But no,
well, it's not
the SFN, and they've got white on it, which counteracts the whole narrow point. But
Scuderia Freccianera. Yes, well, it won't be the other ST because one is in the box in the wall, presumably. We don't actually know what happened, but Haza is being closed in on, by the way, by Karatko. He's doing a good job, though, Florian Haza. Expected him not to necessarily hold that position, but he's come on stronger, actually, the second, well, recently, and has done a decent job. Last round out, he had his first points of the season in 15th and 14th, and now, of course, more points in race one, and now in P2. And that's the beauty of the reverse grid. It does enable drivers who wouldn't necessarily be at the front on pace, it gives them a chance to show what they can do. And Haza in that beautifully liveried Excellion Motorsports car, holding on to P2 nicely.
Yeah, I wonder who designed it, hey Toby. Either way, the Academy car is nicely on the gearbox of that liveried car, which I'm presuming, well, I know in fact, has been designed by Toby, as he usually says, oh, doesn't that look nice? Or nice little helmet he's wearing there, I wonder who made that. Anyway, back to the racing. Yunus Kerala looks to fight the back of Ben Skinner, who's driving that Davidian 66 car. 66 would be my number. I want to take it from Davidian, but I don't think he'll allow me. Yeah, I think it's the best the best number out of all of them. It just looks the nicest.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, we're not. Yes, no. Thanks, Vince. We'll keep that one to ourselves. Yunus Kerala then on the back there of Ben Skinner, as you rightly say, in the David Yunt car. Enigma David Yunt, he does this from time to time, does a few races, then turns his hand to something else for a bit. And this season it's commentary, actually. He did some commentary last season alongside me in SL2, which Carlos Martin has the... Oh, no, wait, is Carlos Martin doing SL2? Yeah, he is. Carlos Martin is the pleasure of SL2 this time next week.
Yay.
Which means Alex Foulkes is free. I have to say I enjoy our FS2 evenings more than I'd enjoyed sitting in SL2.
Yep, absolutely. No, SL2 just... I love the two-race format because you don't just stare at the same screen for 25 laps at the end of the race. You actually look at a different race.
I mean, it the problem with SL2 is entirely because, and SL1, it needs something to be happening, because it's like the F1 really. Sometimes you do get it does become a little processional. We do have some cracking races in SL2 and SL1, Super Lights and Super League, from time to time. And indeed, we did have one last time out at Canada. So it can happen. And obviously, if you're tuning in for the first time, there are multiple series in GPVWC. We've got FS2 tonight and FS1 in 2 days' time, which is also a sprint format, but pit stops in one of the two races does mix things up nicely. 2 tyre compounds as well, only one in Formula Sprint 2. Magnussen is going to win this by a country mile, by the way, if he keeps it on track. And Karatko has run wide, exactly doing the same thing that Ockenhaug did to allow him to take the position from him. So now Ockenhaug returns the favour and sweeps by, although Karatko, sells him a dummy, throws it down the inside and takes the position back again. I like Damir Karatko, I have to say. He's got great racing now. Did a little jink to the left and then sent it down the inside where Ockenhaug had let the gap open up fractionally. And that's not the first time we've seen him racing properly. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great move, and I don't think I've seen much of that this season, but that did just work out perfectly as Ockenhaug did look to the outside, try and cover him off, and just left his inside. What am I saying? He left the inside of the track quite open. Nice little door for Karatko to just break down the inside, and I think that's a very bold move, especially in the wet, but I guess he just trusts his car a lot more than drivers around him, and we've got a nice little train for second at the minute. I say that, well, Haza is a bit further ahead. It's technically a train for third, but we don't care.
Yeah, I think Haza is in danger of holding on to this position throughout the rest of the race. No one seems to be able to keep their car on track for long enough to close in on him. Even though he's lost 6 seconds over 8 laps to Magnussen, and therefore Magnussen has better pace. Micah, our race 1 winner, absolutely doing what I thought he would. He's still in P12 and unable to get through Stoffmeal. I'd like to see a little bit of on board from Micah down this start-finish straight, just to see how it feels in a car with more downforce. He's heading onto the straight now, Vincent.
The racing.
But the racing, there isn't one.
There is here.
There is here, yes, hello. What have we got going on here? This is on board with the Rubeli machine, which is not being driven.
Oh no! Patterson.
That is Micah. And Micah has now lost a position there. Look at the understeer in the dirt. Yeah, that's awful.
Going wide though. Oh, he's very wide. Completely off the track. Okay, didn't lose too much. Correct.
So Micah, Micah's down to 13th place as a result of that. Not going the way race 1 went for him. It's just not worked. He needed to take some downforce off. He probably has the fastest car in these conditions, believe it or not, but is unable to get through the pack in any sort of fashion, and shows you just what it is like with a 6k difference in underpowered cars. Please go on board for the back straight here. I'd love to see what it looks like following Patterson, because, well, I mean, that's just rendered everything.
That's a gravel trap. Commentators. Is that even commentators' cars? Broadcast directors' cars?
Oh, his head's fallen off here, Micah. He needs to get control of it, because he's missed an apex there, wandered himself off the track at 9.
Almost bend it.
He's got no front end at all. I wonder if he's got some like suspension damage or something, because he's got nothing going on the front end whatsoever.
He's going wide ahead. Ooh. Someone was wide.
It's gonna be fun, isn't it? As they head down.
Wow.
Yeah, but now you see, it's like Patterson's got DRS, even though there is no DRS in this series. He's just going down the straight, and that's the noise it makes as well, though. And nothing that Micah can do from there. Further ahead, though, we're side by side, and that will be is that Stoffmeal?
Oh,
yeah.
no!
Oh no! Was that Haza? Oh, Florian, you must have done that by yourself.
Oh, who's going wide as well? Patterson! And also Micah will have held it together, and Haza now out of the points completely, and Karatko up to It's 2, and now this is correct.
Flo, what have you done?
Florian. Well, there goes the whole P2 chances.
He's now dropping again down the field, so I wonder if something else has happened to him. He's fallen all the way down from like 13th, and he's just gone all the way back.
Correct. Having a nice little up tap of Dennis Stoffmeal's rear tyre. I really need to stop myself from saying certain things, don't I?
Oh, someone's just vanished.
Oh,
Well, what's going on here? We've got
issue.
Yeah, we've got Gillette is janky. Someone just vanished as well from the screen. I don't know who that was.
It seems to have fixed
It's
itself.
just
now.
Gillette. It's just Gillette. So Gillette is the what? It was Gillette's car moving backwards. I think that's what that was. So Mike is now P11, of course, after all that. But if we go on board with him now, it's just not gaining at all in the slipstream whatsoever. And unfortunately for him, that's how it is with higher downforce. It's just not happening for him. He can't get anywhere near in the braking zones, can't make those moves stick. I don't know how he's driving with so much understeer, by the way. That looks horrible.
It does, but I think it's also a little bit forced out by the steering angle, which you wouldn't really use in a real car. Well, realistically speaking, you wouldn't be using 90-degree steering angle in a flat-out corner, but who knows? This is RF2. It doesn't like to follow the laws of actual driving, or at least GPV
Right.
cars
Oh,
don't.
okay. Okay. So we had.
Oh.
So it was actually. Oh no, that's
Okay.
not. That's not his fault. Still has his fault.
Yeah, it still has his fault. It did look like it was going to be Karateka, but no.
Karatka's made the move there, but as they go around the outside there, I think Haas has just understeered into him. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
unfortunate
Flo,
for
and then
Haas,
what
but-
happens to him? Oh no.
Ooh. And that's where we cut to him and we watched him.
Yeah, but now he's got to wait, and then he's got to wait some more and wait some more, and yeah.
And why Gillette's in 24th now? Did he do something by accident?
Disconnect. His internet was going, so that's what happened to him.
Oh, that is really unfortunate. And,
Yeah, full disconnect.
He died.
You could see it was going. You could see it was going on the previous lap. Unfortunately for him, that is a race over.
And Tuamala, when did he get home into P4? Has he been there the entire time and I'm just ignorant, or has he got up there?
I think. I mean, let's have a look. Tuamala has been in the top 6 most of the race.
Okay. He hasn't been there though. As far as I know.
Well, no, but I mean, that's Florian Haser has moved nicely out of the way for him.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I concede. That's a valid point.
So yeah, positions wise, we've got Youngstra has moved up 16. Karatko now looks odds on for P2. Okanaug not that close to him currently. In fact, the gap is like second and a half, I think, at the moment, or there or thereabouts. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a smidge less actually by now, but
1.3.
yeah, looks like a nice gap for Karatko. Tuamala is closer to attacking Okanaug than the other way around. Bit of a drying line forming there. Has it stopped raining, or at least died down a little? There's definitely more.
I don't think so.
It's definitely. It's still raining, but there's definitely more of a line forming on the track than we saw earlier on. So the rain is definitely less severe than it was. It won't get anywhere near slicks, and of course pitting does cost way too much time, unfortunately. But it may improve the grip levels, and what we might find is that people will have more confidence to go around the outside of people in these sorts of conditions rather than the inside. James Knox here, unfortunately for him, Stoffmeal has got better straight line speed and is on the inside and is in P7. Knox trying to get back around the outside in turn 3, but he's got to be careful he doesn't throw this one down the inside and lose too much time, because Kasper Koritz right behind him in that Frijlan Jordan tribute livery is right there, and We discussed it before, but they're lovely. Oh, James! Oh, he's got lucky there, you know. Yeah, he's lucky that Koritz was there because it tapped him back straight. But yeah, that's the Minardi themed livery. I do like the retro liveries we got going on here. We've got the Williams behind. It's great stuff. Yeah, for the Priority 1 Esports. But James Knox very lucky there, Alex.
Absolutely. I wouldn't necessarily say it was James Knox as well that was lucky. It's Casper Kuritz too, who has actually got past Mateusz Majka, I think, further ahead. But he was lucky to stay, as it were, and didn't get taken round by James Knox's spin. But yeah, just completely lost it. I honestly can't explain much of that. Just got onto a wet line, hot tyres. I genuinely no idea about that one.
Mike has had an absolute nightmare, hasn't he, this race in comparison to race 1. Kuritz, as you say, got by him, and that must have been through a minor mistake because Kuritz was busy being contacted by James Knox.
Yeah, past Greco.
Oh yeah, good point. They also just had the fastest lap of the race, so showing that it is drying out nicely. Wonder what happened with Karatko and Ockenhaug, because I thought Karatko had a decent sized gap. What did you say it was? 1.3? You say it was 1.3?
No, it was like 0.9, and he lost 0.6 and 0.3 in the final sector. Did Karatko to Ockenhaug, and he's losing even more this first sector. According to the split times, that is, he's lost a second to Ockenhaug overall, or he's half a second down, I should say.
Wonder if one of his sort of slingshot dive bomb-esque late braking manoeuvres for Karatko has burnt his inside tyre, because if you lock up, you do lose a fair bit of life in the tyre, even though it's in the wet conditions. He might have done that a couple of times, and it is easily done here, especially the left front as Kuritz gets a bit slidey through 8. But yeah, so the left front takes a beating through turn 3 especially, and if you lock it up a couple of times for good measure, you can just run out of tyre by the end of the race, especially if the track is drying out as well, which I believe it is. You can see a bit more of a racing line visible on the track than we have seen in the last few laps. See, you can just see it there forming lightly. Hello. As we head into the last few laps of the race.
As Karatko not able to make any more leeway on Magnus Ockenhaug, and somewhat under pressure by Tua Marlow. I wouldn't say totally, as you can watch them in the foreground going through turn 1, 2, and Stoffmill is close right up to the back of Domenico Scarpelli, and is now looking to make a move for P6.
Yeah, he's been up and down, hasn't he, Scarpelli, but has Kerala throwing it down the inside here. This sort of doesn't matter now because these are outside of the points. It's unlikely that they'll get all the way up to P15 from here, but side-by-side action nonetheless. Kerala on the inside of turn 3. On his outside is Ben Skinner, and Skinner trying to hang it there as they head into 4. Oh, contact! Side-by-side contact. Kerala's on the grippy part of the track now, though. And Skinner has to settle in behind, although trying to squeeze up the inside. But Eunice is wise to that and holds position. Good move.
Yeah, no space on the inside, no space on the outside, really, for making a move. Perfectly placed on the track by Eunice Kerala, and making that Priority 1 Esports car not wide, but perfectly placed, so no car can get past him. As we cut to Micah, who is currently still P9. He did start, obviously, in P4, 14, 13? 14. So, not an awful race all around, but he's struggling, like you said he would, as a result of the whole not being able to pass, really. Because the only reasonable place you can overtake on this track now, especially with the rain and the high-speed corners, is the main straight, and without straight-line speed, you're sort of left on your own to do whatever you can, really, in the corners.
Yeah, it's the problem with Micah's setup is that it's such a big difference. It's not a couple of kilometers an hour, it's 5 versus like general average speed here, and that's so much in a low-powered car. Unfortunately for him, It's not so important in a Super League car, for example, with more power, but these cars are doing. Oh no!
Oh, no.
Around he goes.
Yep.
Just talking about him, he's made so many little mistakes this race. Every time we seem to be watching him, he's made a mistake or two. I said he had to screw his head back on earlier in the race, and it's just not happening at all for Matoush, unfortunately for him. And yes, he's now going to be under pressure from Kurt Rotiav in the ST behind him, unfortunately for Micah. He's wide again. This is what I mean. He just needs to concentrate, get his head back on it. It just hasn't happened for him. And unfortunately, this is going to get worse and worse for him.
Yeah, like all mistakes snowball into making bigger mistakes. You just get frustrated, both for yourself and the car, the drivers around you, and it just doesn't end well, as it's being shown by Micah.
A little bit of that will be, I mean, obviously we've had a 4-week break, and people do a lot of practice in a 4-week break. It's easy to get a little bit rusty. It's like the first race of the season again, you know. Stoffmeal lines up Scapelli and goes around the outside into turn 1. Scapelli dives on the brakes. They're going to side by side. Stoffmeal gives him room. I like Senna Stoffmeal. He knows how to race. He's decent, good pace, and gets through safely. And that leaves Scapelli with Kasper Koritz all over his gearbox through on the inside. Once again, we're watching Ben Skinner. That is going to be a penalty if he doesn't rejoin properly outside the cone. I think he probably did. And
he left past Skinner.
Yeah, good job, Corella. It's better to give that position back than take a grid penalty for the next round. So, well done. Koritz is right there. Magnussen just set the fastest lap of the race. He's 11 seconds in the lead. And this is the final lap of our 17-lap race 2. And I believe I'm comfortable in saying I think Magnussen's going to win this one now.
Yeah, he's. We haven't really talked about him much this race. I don't think we've even watched him since the start at lap 1 as he comes round the penultimate corner, and having started in P31, last out of all of them in race 1, he will cross the line to win in race 2, and I believe that might put him a bit further ahead in the championship, if not matching the other Finn that he's fighting. Wow. Oh, wow. That's really bad. Lahtinen. Oh, jeez. That's... Anyway, Ockenhaug and Karatko, second and third. Good race for Ockenhaug to get past Karatko further at the end, who made a few mistakes. Tuamala, fourth, and there's a bit of a fight across the line. Kurt Rochard does not get past Matoush Micah. Matoush Micah also made a few mistakes during the duration of the race. And Ian Dix, the teammate of Florian Haase, who was second at some point. I'm talking about Florian Haase, of course. Didn't actually capitalize on it and just made a rather unfortunate mistake. I wouldn't necessarily say it was his fault. I wouldn't put it on anyone's fault, but just understeered and lost his position. Unfortunate for him, but Magnussen takes the win in race 2.
He does. He does, and it was a really good drive. Lovely helmet as well for the Icelandic driver. And
you didn't make this one.
I did.
You did? You made this one?
Yes, I did.
Oh wow. Of course you did.
Did it last season actually. There we go. But yes, well done, Patrick. Top drive. So results. Let's get through these so we can do some talking to people, because it's my favourite bit. You never know which of the Nordic speaking countries is going to swear this week. Patrick Magnussen wins. Magnus Ockenhaug P2, P3 for Damir Koratko in the end, an eventful race for him. Mikhail Tuamala P4, Oliver Taras P5, Senna Stoffmeal 6th, Domenico Scapelli in 7th with Kasper Koritz in 8th, James Knox 9th, and Craig Patterson in 10th position. Matoush Micah in 11th, Kurt Rotiav in 12th, Christos Philo in 13th for Noah Tuamela in 14th position. 15th is Philip Chavinsky. 16th place goes to Mike Bauer with P17 Ben Skinner. P18 Eunice Carla. 19th place Jon Dix. And 20th is Thies Jongstra. Then we have Florian Hauser, Bjorn Golder, Caroline Harvig, Dan Hayek, Joe Gillette, Josh Dexter, Yasser Lardinen, Oliver Sharker, Seva Panasenko did not start, and Vicentijevic. Well, maybe he did start, I don't know. Vicentijevic, we did see not finishing. And also Nick Kalper, we didn't see what happened to him, but another DNF for him.
Them's the results. Them be the facts of the races.
That's how it do. 2 weeks' time, Austrian Grand Prix, 25th of June, day before my birthday. And that will be fun from the Red Bull Ring. Obviously, it's a slipstream fest, followed by hairpins. Always a danger of wet weather as well at Austria. So keep an eye out on that one for 2 weeks' time. Of course, we are still here at Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona, for Formula Sprint 1. Super League lights next Tuesday and Super League next Thursday. Right, it is now time for interviews. We have a few people waiting for an interview. Alex, who do you want to speak to first?
Let's go with Kasper Koritz.
Kasper Koritz. Here is Kasper Koritz. Hello and welcome to our interview section of the broadcast. Kasper, how are you?
I'm good.
How did you feel your races went today? We obviously saw you involved with James Knox in race 2. There's a lot of things going on. How did you feel it went?
It went better than expected, to be honest. Since Barcelona isn't my best track, and I have kind of avoided it but today it was really good. With race 1, I expected to be slower. I expected that Oliver's gonna catch up really quickly, and to even qualify P3, it was a really big surprise. And race 2, James did hit me because I think he started to spin, and then I tried to go in the inside, and then hit me. But overall it went pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a podium's always good to get. I'm just checking. I think you were P2. Where were you P2? Oh, San Marino. You were P2, right? Yeah. So second podium of the season, Kasper, and obviously coming into the series late as well. I'm showing decent pace. What do you expect from the next few rounds? Is Austria your sort of track?
It's much better than Barcelona, and I mean, it's always nice to be on the podium. I don't really hold myself up to that standard, since I know I'm really new to this series and I need to learn a lot and gain experience. But it's being in the points and in the top 10 is gonna be my goal.
Fair enough. I think top 10 is a decent target for you, to be fair. I think you can do better than that, but that's my opinion. Alex, any questions?
No, I think we covered just about everything I wanted to hear from you, Kasper. Congratulations on your podium in race 1, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Thanks, Kasper. Right, let's drag someone else in. Again, dealer's choice. Alex, who do you want?
No, Tans, your turn.
No. You choose this
time. It's your turn.
No,
well,
I want you to choose. No, you pick.
Okay, Patrick, we're doing Magnussen.
We're doing Magnussen. Lovely.
Yes.
Hello, Patrick.
Hello.
Welcome to the interview section of the broadcast. This is my name is Toby Davis, and I'm joined by Alex Foulkes. How was the race today at Barcelona?
It was pretty interesting. I don't know why it was raining. I mean, it said on the radar, but it was good. It was fine. Yeah. Also after starting P32 in race 1 and going toward P13, it was pretty nice. But was hard because we were on a dry setup for race 1. Because we thought it might dry a little, but it never dried. It just got more wet. So, but then in race 2, I managed to bring it home, I guess.
And bring it home you did. It was a great drive in the end. You got P1 by the time we got to turn 1, and it never looked back. So a great drive. Obviously, you missed Canada I believe you're pretty close to the top of the standings now after that win. So how do you feel about the next couple of rounds? We've got Austria coming up, and then obviously Silverstone after.
Wait, isn't it Hockenheim? When is Hockenheim?
Well, it's definitely Austria next and Silverstone after, and then it's Hockenheim. So.
Time is July, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm good. I like Austria and I like Hockenheim. Silverstone is a bit meh for me. I've never been, but we'll see. Maybe we can work something on the car. Also, a pretty big shame that it wasn't dry today because we were pretty quick, or at least me. But yeah.
Well done, Patricia. Alex, any questions for Patricia?
Yeah, I was just asking. Well, really, you said you don't really like Silverstone, but do you think you have pace in the highest speed, or is it the lower speed that you that KBA6 is faster in, or you don't want to tell me?
I have no idea. I mean, I guess we have found something on the setup that's good for most of the tracks. So yeah, we'll just keep using that base and work from there. And yeah, since it's pretty easy to adjust because we have a great man in our team called Rodrigo Carvalho. So yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, he's a good guy. Well done, Patricia. Good results today.
Thank you.
Right, last person. I think I know who I want to speak to.
Yes.
Damir, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the interview section of the broadcast. My name's Toby Davis. I'm joined by Alex Foulkes. We're here at Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. How do you feel your FS2 round went, having just jumped in straight from Academy?
Well, first of all, I'm kind of mad at myself for throwing P2 at the end of the second race. But apart from that, I'm actually really happy with my performance. And I'm happy that it rained. If it didn't rain, I probably wouldn't even be top 5, to be honest. So that's my thought.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, obviously, a lot of drivers I would have expected to have done practice in dry conditions. Obviously, the rain helping you out today. Interestingly, I haven't seen you for a few seasons. You've been 2021. You were last sort of active. What made you come back to GPVWC?
My friends actually joined GPV, so I wanted to resume racing there, and I was kind of motivated too as well. So I think it's a good choice. I think I did well. I think.
Oh, lovely. That's really good to hear. I hope that England beat you on Sunday, of course. Do you care about the football at all?
They probably will. We play like chickens, to be honest.
I love that. I'm going to use that. Well, there we go. Play like chickens. I mean, you have got Alexander Mitrovic, so anything can happen with him on the pitch. Red card or a hat trick.
We got a few good players, but as a whole, it doesn't really work anyway. So
as a whole, it doesn't work. Okay. I mean, you've got Milinkovic Savic, Dusan Tadic,
Toby.
I honestly, I don't get to do this very often, so I just want to make sure that. So, what's the scoreline on Sunday?
Let's see, 2-1 for England. Though
Okay.
I don't have really high, hopes, but I would like a tie or a win. Obviously, a win would be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we are gonna get far, to be honest.
I will promise you this: if you do beat us, I will definitely mention it in the next broadcast if you race. So.
All right, sure, yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Alex. Any questions for Damir?
Nope, I've had just enough.
Cheers, Damir. So, Alex, give us a little. Let's call it a mini essay. 200 words, low
Right.
word count. Don't have to inflate it.
Okay, so we had 2 races. Obviously, that means we had 2 winners. It could be 1 winner, but we had Matusz Majka win race 1 and Patrick Magnusson win race 2.
We did. Mm-hmm.
We had a qualifying session before that. I actually can't remember who was on pole. I think it was Majka. at the end, and it was actually pretty close as we had changing conditions throughout the race and throughout qualifying. So overall, quite interesting. And I'm sorry for this just awful recap. Here we go.
That's all right.
Like I said, we had a race. It was somewhat interesting, but we just
I
had
think it was
rain
very-
and spins and crashes. It was pretty fun to watch, actually.
I think that overall it was a very interesting and educational broadcast today. Honestly, I think we did a good job. Did you know the wind direction at the circuit can change drastically during the day, which is a significant factor in the performance of the cars? And sometimes in the morning you can suffer understeer, but then oversteer the same part of the circuit in the afternoon. Very interesting about Circuit de Catalunya.
Did you know that worldwide there's multiple different types of weather conditions, like rain, sun, wind, overcast?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Snow. I didn't come here to learn, Toby, in the YouTube comments. Fair enough. Right, we're going to go. Thanks, Vincent. Once again, superb on the cameras. Thanks, Alex, for joining me, I suppose. And big thank you to Chris Williamson for putting on the broadcast. Putting on the race direction. He does a fantastic job behind the scenes. Always thank him, everyone, if you get an opportunity. Until next time, Alex, it's until next time, isn't it?
Indeed, it is until next time.
So until next time, until then, goodbye, everyone. Have a lovely evening.
Adios.